I would like to ask Supervisor Barber if she will please lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance this morning.
I would be honored. Would everyone please stand and place your right hand over your heart, raise the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, members, as indicated on the posted agenda, we'll be taking telephonic public comments for regular and the supplemental budget agenda items during today's meeting. The Executive Office of the Board received over 400 written public comments for today's meeting, and as those written comments were received, all of them were available to the supervisors for their consideration, consistent with the Brown Act's requirements. We will continue to receive written public comments throughout the meeting, which will become part of the official record. Madam Executive Officer, please call the agenda.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Today's agenda will begin on page 2 at matter 10:30 a.m. Item S1 is a discussion of the public health order related to COVID-19. This item will be held for discussion. On page 3, special district agenda. This is the agenda for the Los Angeles County Development Authority. On item 2D is a recommendation to adopt a resolution authorizing the issuance of a tax-exempt multifamily housing revenue bond by the Los Angeles County Development Authority in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $18.7 million to finance the development and construction of an affordable 66-unit multifamily housing development by the Salvation Army located in the city of Pasadena. On page 7, consent calendar, Board of Supervisors items 1 through 11. On item 1, this includes additions as indicated on the supplemental agenda. On item 4, this includes a revision as indicated on the supplemental agenda. On item 9, Supervisor Mitchell requests that this item be held. On page 15, administrative matters, items 12 through 43. On item 32, Supervisor Mitchell would abstain from voting. On page 31, this includes miscellaneous additions to the agenda, which were posted more than 72 hours in advance of the meeting as indicated on the supplemental agenda. On item 41C, Supervisor Mitchell requests that this item be held. On item 41D, Supervisor Hahn requests that this item be held. The requests for continuances through 41E are before you.
Moved by Supervisor Till, seconded by Supervisor Hahn to approve these items. That will be the order.
On page 32, ordinance for introductions, items 44 through 48. On page 34, separate matter, items 49 is a recommendation to adopt a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of the Los Angeles Unified School District 2021 General Obligation Bonds, Series A, in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $500 million. On page 35, fiscal year 2021-22 supplemental budget resolution, items 50 through 55. These items will be held for the Chief Executive Officer. On page 41, notices of closed session. That completes the reading of the agenda, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We'll now take public comments for all agenda items. Madam Executive Officer, please read the call-in information that was also provided on the agenda and explain the speaking rules to those members of the public who are calling in to address the board.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As indicated on the agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 877-226-8163 and use 2 or more agenda items. In addition to those who would like to address the board with general public comment, will be provided 1 additional minute for a maximum total up to 3 minutes. We will allocate 90 minutes of public comment on all of the items. We will continue to accept all written comments that come in during the meeting, which will become part of the record. When speaking on the agenda item, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you're not speaking on a topic, or if we cannot tell if you're speaking on an agenda item, you will get 1 warning from County Council or the chair. If you do not immediately or clearly get on topic, or if you stray off topic again, you will forfeit the rest of your time and the chair will move to the next speaker. Please note, if you're also listening to the board meeting on a computer or speakerphone, you will need to turn down the volume on those devices as soon as the moderator calls on you. If you do not turn down the volume, there will be an echo. Moderator, may we have the first speaker, please?
As a reminder, to address the board, if you have not already done so, please press 1 then 0 at this time. Do not press 1 and 0 a second time or you'll be removed from the queue.
We will now hear the Spanish interpretation of this reminder.
Como recordatorio, para dirigirse a la Junta, si uno lo ha hecho, presione 1 y luego 0 en este momento. No presione 1 y 0 por segunda vez o será eliminado de la fila. Gracias.
May we have the first speaker, please?
Our first participant is Johnny Gray. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
I will be speaking on item 41D. My name is Johnny Gray III. I'm the president of the Los Angeles County Senatorians for the LA County Fire Department. I'm calling to support item 41D with the giving back of Bruce's deeds to the descendants of Charles and Willa Bruce. Just wanted to show my support because our organization in 1954 was created for inclusion and not exclusion. And I think it's a wonderful thing that the county supervisors have done, along with Governor Gavin Newsom, to give the descendants back the land that was wrongfully taken from them. And on behalf of my board and my members, the LA County Senatorians definitely support this item 41D, and we show support for all of our county supervisors as well. And if there's anything else that we can do as an organization, build for black firefighters, we are all inclusive as well. So we are in line with what you guys are doing, and we are in line with what county supervisors and Governor Newsom is doing. And we are proud to be a part of this county, and we are proud to be on record today.
Excuse me, your time has expired. May we have the next speaker, please?
Our next speaker will come from the line of Ray Humphreys. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Yes, this is Roy Humphreys, and on agenda item number 5 and public comment, general public comment. Number 5, I hope that the paperwork will be submitted in a timely manner on this homeless issue, so that we did have an occasion in the past where paperwork was not submitted and we forfeited the funds from the state. And on general public comment, Supervisor Han Lorno Camito's desire mosquito Armageddon intervention is like the Biden-Jamaican border intervention and persistent failure to enforce existing codes, James Yang. Your failure for the Gallus bus bench is appalling. When others have at least 2, this has none. 800 views on YouTube. Maintaining a homeless camper at Fairway Center is ghettofying Roland Heights. Nick Holden emailed me that Public Works would contact me regarding fast-tracking the Otterbein street cleaning situation, none to date. And Joe Gaydash owes me his job. The border maintains its quest for third world status. And as Deputy Denver notes, Roland Heights is so fragmented it is difficult to get anything done. And we applaud Supervisor Barger for her comments on the disregard to not use anecdotal information on the rent relief situation and do get empirical data on same. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Our next speaker will be Jessica Williams. For Jessica Williams, please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
I'm speaking on item 41D. I'm Jessica Williams. I'm a resident of LA and a black woman surfer and the founder of Intersection Surf, which serves to uplift and celebrate girls and women of color in the surf community. To know that Willa and Charles Bruce beat so many odds to become black entrepreneurs a century ago and then use their resources so that people just like myself could enjoy the ocean safely and freely. It's very moving, but emotions aside, it's a reminder about how and why we're here now, where the average white family has 10 times the amount of wealth as the average black family, white college grads, 7 times more wealth than black college grads. No amount of personal responsibility, hard work, or bootstrapping can erase this wealth gap. And this history paints the picture of how and why we're here. Because once thriving entrepreneurs, the Bruces spent the rest of their lives working for others after they lost their land. So it's more than just beachfront property that was taken, it's generations of opportunity that was stolen. And that opportunity was for the pursuit of happiness and a slice of the California dream. I want to thank the supervisors in this county as well as the governor for support of this initiative. It's a huge opportunity. It's a momentous occasion. And I definitely stand in support of it.
Your time has expired. May we have the next speaker, please?
Our next speaker will be Belen Bernal. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Good morning, Board Chair and Board Supervisors. My name is Belen Bernal, and I'm calling in support of item number 2, which is Supervisor Solis' motion to bring the Puente Hills Regional Park to fruition. I am the Executive Director of Nature for All, a nonprofit and coalition of 9 organizations that work to build a diverse base of support to ensure that everyone in LA County has equitable access to the wide range of benefits access to nature provides. As a former mayor within the county, as well as a former county sanitation district board member, I know that bringing the Puente Hills Regional Park to fruition will be a life-changing opportunity for our residents. Many folks within our communities that you all represent have limited access to the outdoors, and we need to do everything that we can at the county, at the local, at the state, federal level to make sure that our residents are healthy, mental health-wise, physically, and so much more. So I really appreciate your attention to this matter, along with everything that you do for the residents that counts in your leadership. Thank you, Supervisor Solis, for bringing this forward. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next, go to Guki Preg. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hi, I'd like to speak on 4, 5, 41D, 50, 54, and general public comment. Good morning. My name is Guki Preg, and I'm the coordinator for the Los Angeles Youth Uprising Coalition, a government for the people, by the people. I'd like to celebrate all my Latinx and Indigenous social justice warriors who continue to serve this county and remind us that people's health and communities' health, aka public safety, is interconnected. Care first, jails last can only happen if our budget reflects that commitment. I'm again disappointed in this year's county budget and supplemental release. The most basic demonstration of care first, jails last is invest in kids, invest in youth, invest in young people. Youth Justice Reimagined and the CEO couldn't find $75 million. And you didn't make it mandatory for the CEO to take unused, unspent probation dollars to make justice right by pouring $75 million into the PFU for Youth Justice Reimagined. A set aside, for young people, for the buildup of a Department of Youth Development that is way more than for young people who are in trouble. It's for all kids so they get the support and guidance they need from the start, not way late. Not way after they have experienced trauma and trauma and trauma by our schools, by the streets, by law enforcement, but actually before that all happens. And if it happens, that they have a community of support wrapped around them so that they can survive those episodes and heal through that process so that they can live purposeful lives. The purpose of Youth Justice Reimagined is to create a much-needed infrastructure. As I joined the meeting today, there was strong awareness of the oil spill and what's happening in our environment. These issues all are interconnected. If we don't lift up the legacy of stolen land, stolen labor, and stolen lives, our budgets will never be care first and jails last. We are not in right relationship with our environment. Every decision is towards right relationship with young people, with community. and with the environment. I encourage you to make a decision today to take $75 million from the probation budget and put it into the PFU for Youth Justice Reimagined. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
As a reminder, if you do wish to address the board, if you've not already done so, please press 1 and then 0 at this time. Do not press 1 and 0 a second time or you'll be queued. We're going to go to Gerred Obrian. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Gerred Obrian, and I would like to make a general comment about our county's current mental health and drug addiction situation. My family is one of the many families currently struggling with a loved one who has mental illness and drug addiction. Many think these are two separate issues. However, most people who are addicted to strong substances, they develop permanent mental illness. And these later result into homelessness and various continuous crimes. Many years of failed policies and efforts, spending money without a clear vision and clear understanding of what the true causes are is just a waste. I urge you to please evaluate the quality of the existing programs. The quality is ridiculously bad. For example, the call center for urgent mental health situation, the team that responds mainly looks for immediate suicide attempts and nothing else, and that's if they get to respond several hours or days after a call is made. And then there are people who genuinely need immediate professional care but are not in the right mental state to even seek help themselves. We can't ignore these people. Mental health, substance abuse, homelessness, they're all connected. Hoping for drug addicts to and mentally ill people to go to prison after multiple criminal offenses so they may or may not get help is simply not a solution. And sadly, our system seems to be designed this way. Prison is not the right place for mentally ill people. Neither is it right to leave them and hope for the best. We need a clear vision and good leadership, a thorough evaluation of these current programs. The quality of the current programs is urgently needed. Additionally, we need a team or a department
Your time has expired. May we have the next speaker, please?
with a comprehensive solution.
Next, we'll go to the line of Justin Verbaist. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hi there, I'm Justin Verbaist. I'm speaking in favor of item 41D. I am a Manhattan Beach resident, and I know this town. I've lived here for 23 years, and it has never done black people right. You have gatekeeping in the ocean, you have hate crimes happening in the hill section, and the efforts of Janice Hahn and Senator Bradford have my absolute support. It's been time for this to happen, and this isn't gifting land, this is returning. So I know a bunch of people, the new wave of Manhattan Beach is completely in support of this, and we really respect and look up to the work that Janice Hahn is doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next, go to Andrade. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Andrade, and I'm here to speak on public comment. I'm a family medicine physician at Harbor UCLA, and I'm calling in support of our union, CIR, and their bargaining efforts. I'd like to speak as to how unfair LA County has been during our negotiations. As a frontline healthcare worker, I worked tirelessly alongside my colleagues in the ICU during the height of the pandemic, taking care of our patients. Today, I'm here to state that we would like to meet with the county for fair negotiations. Despite the PPE shortages, the risk of personal exposure, and the risk of exposing our families, we showed up to care for our patients. We faced ongoing uncertainty at the start of the pandemic, and now we also face uncertainty negotiating our contracts to improve resident working conditions. Just like we showed up to do our jobs, we're asking you to show up to do yours. Work with us to ensure we can care for ourselves so we can continue to care for our patients. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next, we'll go to Anita Morales. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether or not you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hi, my name is Anita, and I'm here on the behalf of La Puente Mutual Aid to support item 2. La Puente Mutual Aid is a 100% volunteer-run, community-based organization that has provided vaccine sites, basic need distributions, and other services to our working-class community. Since 1983, community members have lived near what once was one of the largest landfill sites in the U.S., These same residents were promised that a regional park would be built there after the landfill closed in 2013. However, almost a decade later, construction of said park has not materialized. However, with the approval of Supervisor Solis's motion, the community members of Puente Valley will finally have the regional park they were promised so many years ago. We urge that the Board of Supervisors to please pass this critical motion, which will create a sorely needed green and open space that is desperately needed in the San Gabriel Valley. It is time to honor the commitment made to build a regional park for the community surrounding the former Puente Hills landfill. Thank you so much to Supervisor Solis for bringing this motion forward, and thank you to the rest of the Board of Supervisors for your consideration. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next, we'll go to the line of Olivia Shield. Please state the regular agenda items you wish to address today and whether you will address general public comment. You may begin.
Hello, my name is Olivia Shields with Urban Peace Institute and Los Angeles Youth Uprising Coalition, commenting on agenda items 50, 54, and general public comment. I want to first express my excitement and support regarding a $27.4 million investment in the Youth Justice Reimagined Development Fund. These funds represent a crucial step towards a healthy and safe community by financing aspects of YJR, including implementing credible messengers, educational opportunities, and restorative practices in secure facilities that act as alternatives to DJJ. Furthermore, fully funding YJR at $75 million and identifying ongoing funding will support the launch of the Department of Youth Development, the establishment of safe and secure healing centers, as well as 24-hour youth and community centers, and will continue to progress other key aspects of reimagining youth justice. As we look for ongoing funding for YJR, we must begin by addressing the ever-growing juvenile probation budget. The CEO wants to give probation an additional $25 million in the supplemental budget, including 28 new positions in juvenile institutions, despite a hiring freeze. Why are these positions being introduced? The VSCC just found juvenile halls in Los Angeles unsuitable for the confinement of youth, which makes these new positions not only inexplicable, but absolutely unacceptable. Instead of wasting $1 million per year to incarcerate one young person, I encourage the board and the CEO to cut probation's grossly inflated budget. Most recently, a total of $570 million spent on incarcerating and supervising youth. You can easily do so by cutting all 400 vacant positions in juvenile probation's budget, which amounts to between $65 and $78 million each year, and instead redirect this money into a savings account for Youth Justice Reimagined. In terms of phasing out probation entirely, the board must fund and support a just transition planning team so juvenile probation jobs can be transferred to other aspects of the county in need of workforce growth. Essentially, thank you for funding YJR, continue to fund YJR with ongoing dollars, and take these dollars from juvenile probation. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next, we'll go to Lorenzo Gonzales. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hi, my name is Dr. Lorenzo Antonio Gonzales, and I'll be speaking on public comment. I'm a family medicine physician at Harbor UCLA and a member of CIR. I'm here because LA County's lack of consideration of an equitable contract for its resident physicians, meaning our county contract places us at the bottom third of all Los Angeles counties. Since I'm completing my residency, I will not see the benefits of these efforts, but I believe Los Angeles County residents deserve the best physicians when they're sick. Recruitment of these new physicians has started, but what we have to show them is an expired contract as of September 30th. And an LA County CEO that states the experience of the pandemic was a badge of honor to place on your resume. I'm here because I don't think our message is being heard. I reached out to Supervisor Solis and Supervisor Mitchell a month ago, and they still haven't gotten back to us. What we seek is respect and care for us, so we can continue to care for Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
As a reminder, to address the board, if you've not already done so, please press 1 then 0 at this time. Do not press 1 and 0 a second time or you'll be removed from the queue. Next we'll go to Ambrosia Brooks. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. Please go ahead. Ambrosia Brooks, your line is open.
Hi, yes, sorry, this is Ambrosia Brooks, campaign coordinator at Dignity and Power Now and an organizer with Justice LA. And I'd like to speak on item number 54 in general public comment. How can the CEO's office, in good faith, frame their supplemental budget as founded upon a Care First Scales last vision when the county will once again spend $3.42 billion on the Sheriff's Department this year? That's amounting to $337 per resident. A Care First budget is not the one introduced by the CEO's office today. A Care First approach requires divestment from the county institutions most responsible for harming and incarcerating our communities. How does the continued nearly $5 billion allocation to the Sheriff and Probation Departments demonstrate a commitment to reimagining justice and a Care First vision? A true Care First vision will only be realized through transparent and accessible processes that promote community power sharing, accountability, and equity. With passage of Measure J, now known as the Care First Community Investment, Los Angeles County has the opportunity to include the broader community, especially those most impacted by incarceration, in an authentic process that supports the equitable distribution of funding. This will create a framework for the county to utilize in any funding process to ensure investment in the most highly impacted communities, trust building and accountability with the community, and to redress systemic and historic divestment. It is quite disappointing that the CEO's office is framing the supplemental budget as one grounded in the Care First vision. I want to remind the board that the Measure J advisory body recommended $900 million for community investment, and the CEO's office only allocated $100 million for Measure J recommendations. I urge the board to continue to push to fully fund Measure J and respect the recommendations of the Care First Community Investment Advisory Body in year 2. It is quite shocking that the CEO's office has listed this year's AB 109 funding allocations as a step in the right direction. May I remind the board that 65% of AB 109 funding will go to the Sheriff and Probation Department. The CEO's office also, in bad faith, disregarded the recommendations of the PSRT in order to continue to pour money into the Sheriff and Probation Department. The budget process did not include or prioritize community groups. Recommendations were ignored, and critical county departments will end up with a fraction of the money they requested.
Excuse me, your time has expired. May we have the next speaker, please?
Next, we'll go to David Diaz. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Good morning. Item number 2. My name is David Diaz. I'm the Executive Director of Active San Diego Valley, and I'm calling to support Item 2, which is Supervisor Solis' motion to bring the Puente Hills Regional Park to fruition. For decades, this landfill was allowed to operate in our communities with the hope that one day it would be converted into a regional park. Our communities have been waiting for that park ever since the landfill closed its doors in 2013. However, that dream has now been delayed for almost a decade. We urge this board to pass this critical motion, which will create a sorely needed open space in the San Gabriel Valley. Residents have had to endure the impacts of these landfills for too long, and we need park space now. Thank you, Supervisor Solis, for bringing forward this motion. You all have a great week.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next, we'll go to Hanny Karr. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hello, my name is Dr. Hanny Karr. I'm a third-year emergency medicine resident physician at Arbor UCLA and a delegate of CIR SEIU. I'd like the opportunity to speak during public comment. I'm here this morning asking for the County of Los Angeles to enter meaningful contract negotiations with our union regarding our salary and wages. We carried the county through the COVID surges time and again, but when it comes time to renew our contracts to reflect a national inflation of 5% and an average raise in LA County of 5.4%, we, the frontline heroes, are being asked to take a salary freeze and roll over for 6 months. Why? It's the same fiscal year, it's the same budget surplus. For us, that's an entire recruitment cycle and a significant proportion of our time as temporary yet full-time county employees. We are not like the other unions that have rolled over. Furthermore, our contracts are one of the primary tools for recruitment of new resident physicians, a process we've already begun. We have nothing to offer these potential applicants, an expired contract, and wages that are $15,000 a year less than those of UCLA and $11,000 less than those at Cedars. We'll be hard-pressed to recruit the best physicians, the physicians our patients deserve, without county coming to the table with meaningful offers. We're asking you to meet with us, to enter into discussion regarding a modest increase in salary to reflect increased cost of living and the substantial financial burden most of us carry from medical school. Work with us, your frontline physicians, to ensure we are able to care for ourselves so we can continue to care for our patients. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next we'll go to Persia Marcus. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Sí, buenos días. Mi nombre es Persia Marquez, represento a San Champagne Neighborhood Youth Watch en South San Jose Hills. Estoy llamando para apoyar el artículo 2, que es la moción de la supervisora Solís, para llevar a buen término el Parque Regional Puente Hills. Durante décadas se permitió que ese relleno sanitario operara en nuestras comunidades con la esperanza de que algún día se convirtiera en un parque regional. Nuestras comunidades han estado esperando ese parque desde que el relleno sanitario cerró sus puertas en el 2013. Sin embargo, ese sueño se ha retrasado durante casi una década. Eso cambiará hoy con la aprobación de la moción del supervisor. Instamos a esta Junta a aprobar esta moción crítica que creará un espacio abierto muy necesario en el Valle de San Gabriel. Los residentes han tenido que soportar los impactos de este vertedero durante demasiado tiempo. Gracias, supervisora Solís, por presentar esta moción número 2. Muchas gracias.
We will now hear the interpretation of the speaker's comments.
Good morning. My name is Anita Morales. Calling in favor of item number 2, motion by Hilda Solis for the Puente Hills Park. Our community has been waiting for over a decade, since 2013. We are here in favor of approving this vital motion for the San Diego area. Thank you, Supervisor Solis, for this motion.
Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please?
Next we'll go to Camila Alvarado. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment.
Hello, my name is Dr. Camila Alvarado. I'm a family medicine resident calling from Harbor UCLA to support CIR's bargaining efforts. For the past few months, hundreds of our residents have taken the time out of their 80-hour work weeks to attend weekly meetings with county to bargain for a more fair contract. Every week, county refuses to discuss any of our economic proposals. We have been working at the front line of this pandemic for the last 2 years. We have been called essential workers, healthcare heroes, and frontline providers. We got LA through every surge, all while putting our own health at risk. And how does county repay us healthcare heroes when we need you all the most? By shutting the door in our faces and refusing to negotiate our proposals. All we are asking for you is to meet with us and to work with us to ensure that we're able to care for ourselves so we can continue to care for our patients. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
As a reminder, to address the board, if you've not already done so, please press 1 then 0 at this time. Do not press 1 and 0 a second time or you'll be removed from the queue.
We will now hear the Spanish interpretation of this reminder.
Como recordatorio, para dirigirse a la Junta, si aún no lo ha hecho, presione 1 y luego 0 en este momento. No presione 1 y 0 por segunda vez o será eliminado de la fila. Gracias.
Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please?
We're going to go to Alison Hailes. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alison Hailes. I'm the founder of Coach Club South Bay, and it's to celebrate and make space for diversity and culture in Manhattan Beach and the rest of the South Bay. I would like to speak on item number 41D. I fully support Supervisor Jemanes and the signing of the bill SB 796. It's a long time coming. I want to thank all parties involved in making this happen. It's truly history in the making, and I'm so happy to see it happening. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
We're going to go to Sharon Aiken. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hi, good morning. My name is Sharon Aiken. I'm from the San Gabriel Valley Conservation Corps. We are calling to support item 2, which is Supervisor Solis' motion to bring the Puente Hills Regional Park to fruition. For decades, this landfill was allowed to operate in our communities with the hope that one day it would be converted into a regional park. Public parks are important places for building a sense of community and social belonging. There are spaces that belong to everyone, regardless of age, gender, ethnicity, religion, or income. Our communities have been waiting for that park ever since the landfill closed its doors in 2013. However, that dream has been delayed for almost a decade. That will change today with the approval of Supervisors' motion. We urge the board to pass this critical motion, which will create sorely needed open space in the San Gabriel Valley. Residents have had to endure the impact of this landfill for far too long. Thank you, Supervisor Solis, for bringing forward this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next, we'll go to Marvin Ambrosia. Please state the regular agenda items you wish to address and what not you'll be addressing in general public comment. You may begin.
Yes, hello, this is Dr. Marvin Ambrosia from Harbor UCLA. As a family medicine resident, here to speak on public comment as well as to support CIR's bargaining effort. As an essential care worker, we should be granted the opportunity to discuss our upcoming contract. These talks do have a great impact on our ability to attract competitive applicants to our residency program, as our applicants are very interested in knowing our financial situation and increasing costs in LA County. It would be reassuring to be able to tell our applicants as well as our hardworking residents who over the last 1.5 years have been combating the deadly pandemic, risking our lives as frontline workers, that we are having positive negotiations with LA County. Instead, we have yet to have fruitful conversations regarding ways to improve safety and overall quality of life for our residents. We continue to wait to hear back from supervisors after months of communication. All we ask is to meet with us and to work with frontline providers to ensure that we are able to care for ourselves so we continue to care for our patients. Thank you.
Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please?
We'll go to the line of Genavive Gabriel. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Yes, good morning, Board of Supervisors, Dr. Genavive Gabriel. I would like to speak on S1 for 812 and 41C. S1, we need to really look at that because our number of COVID have really dropped down. Maybe we can relax some of the issues. On the report, I'm totally in favor to have those phone calls free for the prisoner, at least in number every month again. And, on the 12th, that's the LASA, you have received a report finally and file. But guess what? The report is not available to anybody who wants it. And I will really, really want to have a copy. So I will ask my own Board of Supervisor Powder to send me a copy of that report because I will love to review it because LASA is not doing their job and I am concerned about it. So 41C about the Haitian immigrants, I'm totally in support of that and if I can help in any way because many Haitians speak French and I have spent some time in Haiti in the past, so I would love to have said goodbye. Have a great week and I hope we reopen the county soon because I want to be able to look at you again and talk and get things accomplished because right now a lot of meetings are canceled and so on and that's not the way to run business. Anyway, hope you will reopen soon. Have a good week. Bye.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next, go to Reverend Tony Pierce. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Yes, this is Reverend Tony Pierce. I'm senior pastor of the World Restoration Ministries globally. I'm also the CEO of Black Wall Street Project, and I want to speak to 41D to initiate the process to return Bruce Beach to the Bruce family. I want to thank everyone for all your hard efforts. I want to thank especially Janice Hahn for spearheading a lot of the activity in this. I want to thank Holly Mitchell, who fought for this in the Senate, and the supervisors fought for this. I want to thank Steve Bradford, Governor Newsom, Al Marsucci, Assembly Burke, Assembly Person Joan Sawyer, and etc. Everyone that's brought this to this point. Now we need action. It's an important piece of legislation, probably the most important piece of legislation since the Civil Rights Act to right a major wrong. There's immense support for this. We're talking about reparations, and reparations...
Your time has expired. May we have the next speaker, please?
We'll go to the line of Monique Headman. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hi, my name is Dr. Monique Headman. I'm a family medicine resident physician at Harvard UCLA, delegate of CIR SEIU. I am calling to provide general public comment. I'd like to comment on the fact that LA County has shut the door on us in terms of fair contract negotiations, sacrificing our health and well-being to steer our communities through a devastating pandemic, only to be told that we must wait to discuss the mere possibility of receiving fair pay for that critical work is the ultimate insult to injury. We have reached out to Supervisors Mitchell and Solis with no response. How can you be labor forward but are not working with physicians during a pandemic? How can you shut the door on us when we need you all the most? By not engaging us, you are sending the message that you do not care about the people you have tasked with getting the county through this pandemic and thereby do not care about the citizens that they serve. If you affect our ability to attract quality residents and fellows to our hospitals, then it will directly impact the patients that are cared for in our hospitals, who deserve nothing but the best care we can possibly provide. We came to work for the county because we wanted to play a major role in serving its most vulnerable residents. The county's current position in refusing to negotiate economics with its frontline physician workforce is severely compromising our ability to do so, both now and in the future. Again,
your time has expired. May we have the next speaker, please?
Next we'll go to Alfonso Jemanes. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hello, my name is Dr. Alfonso Jimenez, Superintendent of Schools for the Hacienda La Puente Unified School District. I am calling to support item 2, which is Supervisor Solis' motion to bring the Puente Hills Regional Park to fruition. For decades, this landfill was allowed to operate in our communities with the hope that one day it would be converted into a regional park. Our communities have been waiting for that park ever since the landfill closed its doors in 2013. However, that dream has now been delayed for almost a decade. That will change today with the approval of the supervisor's motion. We urge this board to pass this critical motion, which will create sorely needed open space in the San Gabriel Valley. Residents have had to endure the impacts of this landfill far too long. Thank you, Supervisor Solis, for bringing forward this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next we'll go to Shamari Davis. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hello, my name is Shamari Davis. I'm a business representative for IDW Local 11, and I'm addressing item 9, which I'm in support of. This includes the Harvard UCLA Medical Center Replacement Project and also the Wellness Village. We represent almost 12,000 workers in LA County that are electrical workers and do electrical private and public construction. We consistently reach out to our communities, making sure that our community and our union is diverse. We started a touring and mentoring program many years ago during the FaceX initiative by Diaz to make sure that we outreach into diverse communities to make sure that our union looks like Los Angeles. So we would like to see this go forward and know that we can meet the 50% local hire targeted. We do that for LAUSD, and LA County is an even larger area, and so that we know that we are able and we've been successful in doing it there, and many other projects in LA County, we can definitely do it here. So we urge support, and we thank Supervisor Mitchell for putting this forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
As a reminder, if you wish to address the board, if you have not already done so, please press 1 then 0 at this time. Do not press 1 and 0 a second time or you'll be removed from the queue. We'll go to the line of Dr. Julian Henson. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hello, your line is open. Please begin. Can we go to the next speaker, please?
Next, we'll go to Eunice Hernandez. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Thank you. Good morning. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can. Please begin.
Great. Thank you. Hi. Good morning. My name is Eunice Hernandez. She, her, hers. I'm the co-founder and executive director of La Defensa, a C4 organization working to build up alternatives to incarceration and move dollars into building out the decentralized system of care that we're hoping to see. I am calling in support of, I'm calling in to speak on items 3, 4, and 54 in public comment. I'd like to start off by thanking Supervisor Q and Supervisor Solis on item 3 for claiming International Pronouns Day in LA County. It's incredibly impactful when we have folks who we're working with across the table on policy who are directly impacted, who are trans, gender nonconforming, to be able to be recognized and how they like to be recognized in some of these spaces. And I say that because as examples, when we were building out the Care First report, using pronouns was something that we incorporated into the county meetings, which a lot of people struggled with on both sides, but we got to the point where people were respectful of people's preferred pronouns. So I think lifting this up to the county, for the rest of the county to model is great. For item 4, during COVID last year, I think at least a minimum of $5 million was spent in addition to what's traditionally spent on phone calls and commissary items in the jail. And so just thinking about an additional $5 million being taken from communities that are already directly impacted so that they could communicate with their loved ones while they couldn't visit, just boggles my mind. So I'm glad that y'all are moving forward to make this happen. So thank you, Supervisor Mitchell and Supervisor Solis, for moving this forward. And then on item 54, which is the supplemental budget changes, I just want to highlight, we're here with the budget and budget recommendations that have been developed. A lot of community this time around was able to participate and develop some of these recommendations, but I will say that you have gotten a digested series of recommendations and allocations. There were a lot of things that community had put in that were changed by the CEO's department to fit whatever models and budgets they needed to. But this budget and these supplemental changes don't reflect an open and transparent process. And so although some of these numbers are great, some of these numbers are not enough, especially on the youth end. And so much is given to expand probation jobs to supervise and to incarcerate young folks in probation camps. But what I really want to say is that there's no transparency in this budget process. We put so many hours in to only see a different result of what we had put in and provided as recommendations. So I urge you all that I hope for next year we can really take a look at and make changes to the budget process and to limit the scope and power that the CEO has over deciding how things actually move, because then it takes away the point of community even being involved. If what we put in is just going to be digested and changed into support and fund whatever the county CEO's department thinks it should go to. So that's what I would say about these supplemental changes. Some of them are great, but also there's no transparency, and it's just kind of hard to see that this process continues to be, so far deep within the bureaucracy. Thanks.
Can we have the next speaker, please?
Next on the line of Nicole Bown. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Good morning, Nicole Bown with the Urban Peace Institute and LA Uprising. I'd like to make comments on agenda items 50, 54, and general public comment. Just picking up where Ernest left off, I agree that this supplemental budget makes crucial investments in the Care First Jails agenda, but as Guki Preg pointed out, these investments need to be greatly increased and sustained. I hope this will be reflected in the CEO's recommended budget next year, and that ongoing funding will be identified to resource these essential programs. One major area of ongoing funding, which I hope will be better invested, are AB 109 funds. The TSRT has done significant work in creating an implementation plan. Now, the $350 million that has gone to the Sheriff's Department and probation with little scrutiny should be evaluated, and major adjustments should be made so we can invest in strategies that we know create true and lasting public safety, such as substitute treatment, permanent supportive housing, and youth development services. I also hope the board will fully resource the Probation Oversight Commission, fund just transition planning, a recommendation which was uplifted in the Measure J process, and as Amy has pointed out, we also need to resource and create a meaningful process to greatly increase budget transparency and to fund participatory budgeting. In this budget, we are of course happy to see the investment of $27.4 million towards the Youth Justice Reimagined Development Fund. We need this funding so we can put our plans into action and get young people the resources they need and deserve. I'm happy to see the CEO's office has finally heard our outcry after finding minimal funding in June. It gets us closer to the $75 million which we are promised, and we will continue to push for this and much more. If we truly plan to implement Youth Justice Reimagined, it will be necessary to phase out juvenile probation, and this means their budget as well. This year, probation's budget has only grown. In fact, the department will receive about $25 million more to their total, to their $1 billion budget. $570 million goes towards the incarceration and supervision of youth. The easiest place to start is vacant positions. A recent report back by the probation department shows that juvenile probation has over 400 vacant positions, a steady trend over multiple years. Looking at the average salaries and benefits, these positions represent $65 to $78 million. These positions should be cut, and the funds should be diverted as sustainable funding for YJR and the new Department of Youth Development. We support keeping the hiring freeze on juvenile institution services, but wonder why this very budget is getting 28 new positions for juvenile halls. Even after being sued by the Department of Justice, this probation department has continued to fill youth, and just weeks ago, the halls were found unsuitable for the confinement of youth by the DSCC, which is a very conservative body and has never ruled any juvenile hall unsuitable. In listening to questions by your justice deputies and public safety officers, it's unclear why these positions are needed and what they are for, and we need to stop throwing money at a fundamentally flawed system. We need to try something new. Another adjustment in this budget that's very confusing is $8 million additional dollars.
Excuse me, your time has expired. May we have the next speaker, please?
We'll go to the line of Eric Previn. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today, and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Okay. Thank you. It's Eric Previn from Studio City, and what I'm going to do is address several items. Item 55, item 6. Let me just go sequence by sequence. There's several, so I'll take the full 2 minutes and the 1 minute for general. Okay? That sound fair, Zabala? Yeah, thank you. All right, first of all, it's nice to celebrate what amounts to now multiple decades of Sheila fighting to get inmate telephone system and services more aligned with common sense and reality. So thank you for the decades of wait on this. We're going to have 90 days on the funding estimates to do some upgrades. It feels like it's spinning around endlessly, but let's try to stay optimistic that we're moving in the direction on a very, very slow treadmill. International Pronouns Day, this is such a zeitgeisty thing. Families everywhere are adopting pronouns that are chosen by the individuals, and it's so uplifting in a way for people to finally choose the correct pronoun that they're happy with. It's hard for some of those of us who are following, but we try, and there should be no penalties. I know that you guys like to issue citation. There should be no penalties for getting it wrong, so people should try to get it right. Let's agree on that. I know your Solis has just had a little light bulb went off. Not a bad idea. But no, it's a bad idea. And what is a bad idea also is I got a little disappointed when I looked at the multiple languages that the pronoun advisories were. They say, no, this is just about English. Bugger off. Well, that doesn't seem particularly inclusive to me. Then we have, what we have is we have the Quality and Productivity Awards. And I wanted to call it out because I know Nihao, the Quality and Productivity cat, Mike Antonovich had the great insight to promote this small stray cat that had come over in a shipping container to a larger role over there. And they hand out important awards. And you are in line, as you know, for one of the biggest awards ever, the Golden Bear, which is an award that shows a jurisdiction in California that has most brazenly and egregiously violated the open meeting laws by canceling their regular meetings and replacing them with special closed sessions. So this is a very high honor, Sheila. This could go right up there with some of the other big gets that we've had. Now, I wanted to thank D.A. Gascon, who's in there in the budget, for getting rid of Joe Esposito, and who is the chief deputy over there at District Attorney, and sticking in Sharon Wu, who obviously is a longtime apparatchik. But if Wu is willing to sit down and meet and confer like a grown-up, we could get some of these egregious violations squared away and re-invite the public to their public meetings and, put to rest the silly idea that somehow anybody authorized that you should be in closed session all the time while canceling public meetings. Or a third alternative, which is listening to Barbara Ferrer chatter on endlessly about details.
May we have the next speaker, please?
As a reminder, if you wish to address the board, if you've not already done so, please press 1 then 0 at this time. Now press 1 and 0 a second time while you be removed from the queue. We'll go line of Don Hakin. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Good morning. My name is Dawn Hakin, and I am making a general public comment on behalf of Eagle Collegiate Academy. ECA is a nonprofit with minimal educational funding. We are asking supervisors to work with us and approve our permits without asking us to make outlandish accommodations to the site that we simply cannot afford. Our students and families are hardworking community members that are counting on ECA to provide an international baccalaureate education for their children. Your help and support will enrich the education of these kids. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
We'll go line of Maisha Hudson. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you address on general public comment. You may begin.
My name is Maisha Hudson. I'm a teacher, staff of East Collegiate Academy. I'm asking the board to release the site plan for ECA facilities. I'm also asking for the board to remove requirements for our schools to add things that we should not be adding, like the other schools have not been asked to add. We have teachers and students and parents want to get into schools where students will have to be back in their homes, to be in a classroom, be active with the teachers, be active with the staff members. Our jobs are on the line. So this school is providing jobs for people that just stopping requirements for us to get a paycheck to live every day. That's what I'm asking the board. Thank you.
Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please?
Next, we'll go to Mitch Ward. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. Please go ahead.
Yes, good morning. I'm addressing item 41D in support of Bruce's Beach property transferring back to Willa Bruce and Charles Bruce's immediate descendants. My name is Mitch Ward. I'm the former mayor and council member for the city of Manhattan Beach. I was elected twice and the only black to have held office in our city's 109-year history. I'm also known for leading my city to rename our oldest park to Bruce's Beach in honor of Willa and Charles Bruce. The whole world is watching the supervisors, and I am confident you will bring back justice to the Bruce's family. Thank you very much for this moment.
Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please?
Next, we'll go to Michelle King. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Good morning. My name is Michelle King, and I'm a resident of District 1. I'd like to speak on agenda items 3, 4, 30, 41A, 41C, 54, and general public comment, please. On item 3, thank you. On item 3, I thank the board for recognizing the importance of respecting individuals' gender expression and gender pronouns. However, the board should consider more robust ways of supporting the LGBTQ plus two-spirit and gender non-conforming community, specifically when it comes to our disproportionate incarceration. The board should look to the recommendations provided by the Gender Responsive Advisory Committee, a upcoming report which outlines how any incarceration policies must prioritize the release of our LGBTQ plus two-spirit gender non-conforming and cisgender female community members housed in CRVS and K6G. Item 4, I urge the board to pass a motion to accelerate the elimination of phone fees and commissary markups in all county jails and juvenile camps and halls that unnecessarily burden our low-income neighbors and disproportionately burden Black and brown families. Item 30, I support the decriminalization of exploited youth and approaching them from a trauma-informed lens. Law enforcement is not the safest or most effective way to do so. Item 31A, it's imperative that we center Indigenous voices as we develop land acknowledgement and land access policies. Item 41C, I thank Supervisor Mitchell for this motion, and I call on the county to identify and create wraparound support services that can be provided to Haitian immigrants and their families, including medical, mental health, housing, and career support and legal services, including those offered in the LA Justice Fund. The county must develop and implement a plan for accessibility to ensure Haitian and all Black migrants are able to fully access these services. We urge the board to demand that the Biden administration put an end to Title 42, grant humanitarian parole, end the metering system, and stop all expulsions and deportations. On item 54, how can the CEO's office in good faith bring their supplemental budget is founded upon a Care First jail boss vision when the county will spend $3.42 billion on the sheriff's office this year? I would like my $337 invested in a real Care First budget. This is not a Care First budget. Care First requires divestment from the county institutions most responsible for harming and incarcerating our communities. How do the continued nearly $5 billion allocations demonstrate a commitment to a Care First vision? Care First means community first. Care First means investing in community-based programs that provide the most thorough and effective support. Investing in community first underlies all the ATI report recommendations, and this should be better reflected in the county budget. It's disappointing that the CEO's office is framing the supplemental budget as one grounded in Care First. Measure J Advisory Board recommended $900 million, and the CEO ignored that recommendation to allocate only $100 million. I urge the board to continue to fully fund Measure J and respect the recommendations of the Care First Community Investment Advisory Board. It's embarrassing that the CEO's office has listed this year's AB 109 funding allocation as a step in the right direction. 65% of AB 109 funding will go to the sheriff and probation, disregarding the recommendations of the CSRT. LA County is set to spend over $1 million per year to incarcerate one single young person. This is absolutely unacceptable. We must stop funding a failed department and fund the promise of youth justice reimagined. I strongly support the 27.
Excuse me, your time has expired. May we have the next speaker, please?
Closer to that $75 million.
We'll go to the line of Jones O'Keefe. He states the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you're addressed on general public comment. You may begin. Jones O'Keefe, your line is open.
May we have the next speaker, please?
We'll go to the line of Christopher Hannon. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you're addressed on general public comment. You may begin.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, Honorable Supervisors. My name is Chris Hannon, representing the Los Angeles Orange County's Building and Construction Trades Council. I'm proudly calling in to support item number 9. On behalf of 140,000 union members who are the best trained craftspeople anywhere, under 48 affiliated organizations, we're proud to be able to have the opportunity to work on the Harbor UCLA Medical Center, and with the inclusion of the mental health outpatient clinic and the wellness center, our members are proud to be able to go to work on facilities that are going to deliver vital services for residents of LA County for years to come. Having the opportunity to work under them under the Community Workforce Agreement and having the vehicle to empower residents to enter our trades couldn't be any better. And we again proudly support item number 9, and we look forward to welcoming in as many people that want a career in construction as possible and exceeding all expectations and all goals under the Community Workforce Agreement. Thank you again. Bye.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
As a reminder, if you wish to address the board, if you have not already done so, please press 1 then 0 at this time. Do not press 1 and 0 a second time or you'll be removed from the queue.
We will now hear the Spanish interpretation of this reminder.
Como recordatorio, para dirigirse a la Junta, si aún no lo ha hecho, presione 1 en el vocero en este momento. No presione 1 y 0 por segunda vez o será eliminado de la fila. Gracias.
Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please?
For the line of Donald Harlan, please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hi, my name's Donald Harlan. I live here in Los Angeles. Just want a minute for general public comment.
Please begin. Thank you.
Hi, I'm over there every week. My name's Donald. The County Board of Supervisors, you guys have failed the people in LA County and California miserably. You've allowed the transfer of trillions of dollars of money, wealth, businesses, and property out of the state of California. It's your job to protect the people from that happening. Instead, you guys working in there are transferring our companies and our properties to your home state, Texas. You know, the people here in Los Angeles, we need our money out of escrow from the properties you're trying to steal from us. You know, nobody got paid for their properties in Los Angeles, and you guys are transferring the property money all to the wrong people. You know, they're at a point where it's beyond throwing you in jail. It's beyond arresting you. It's beyond taking you to court. They need to call the military over there to run over there and...
May we have the next speaker, please?
Next we'll go to the line of Josh LaFarga. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hi, I'm Josh LaFarga. I'm with the Laborers Union. Just want to echo the 2 previous comments on support for item number 9. We support the addition to the CWA and look forward to getting the community to work in projects within the community. Thanks.
Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please?
Next we'll go to Javier Gonzales. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hi, good morning. My name is Javier Gonzales, and I'm speaking on behalf of Eagle Collegiate Academy. I'm speaking as his parent, as I have my child enrolled in this school, and he cannot attend classes in person just because the facilities, they haven't been approved, and they're not up and running. My child is very excited to learn in person. You know, have a school to go to. You know, have teachers to teach him and talk to him this morning. And he has special education needs that are not being provided to him in person just because there's no facility involved. And we are asking for you to move the motion of approving the process and start moving forward so that we can have our facilities for our students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before you hang up, I'm sorry, I wanted to know where the school is located in. District?
Yes, our school is located in Agua Dulce.
This is the district. All right, and part of your question might be directed to LA County Office of Education, so we'll try to inquire. Thank you.
No, we've already been approved. Our school's already approved. The facilities are the ones that are not approved yet, and so that's what I'm calling about. Because the school's already started, and we're excited to start in person, but we can't do that because the facilities haven't been approved.
Okay, thank you. We'll direct that to the appropriate supervisor. Thank you. Next caller.
Please we'll go to the line of Kalali Kuackenbush. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hello, Supervisors. Can you hear me? Yes, we can. Please begin. Okay, thank you. My name is Caitlin Quackenbush from Strategic Actions for a Just Economy, SAGE, and the Los Angeles Renters Right to Counsel Coalition, and I will address budget matters items 50 through 55 and general public comment. The supplemental budget that you will be voting on today indicates a significant surplus, providing the county with an opportunity to, many opportunities to make critical investments in the health and housing stability of LA County's vulnerable residents. Yet, at the same time, we know that tenants countywide have experienced high rates of eviction pre-pandemic. This is an issue that SAGE and the Right to Counsel Coalition have been seeking to address for years. And now, today, low-income tenants, especially those outside the city of LA, are at an even higher risk of displacement given the expiration of the state protections last week and the slow and limited reach thus far of the emergency rental assistance program. Stay House LA County's tenant outreach, education, and eviction defense services have been so important these past 18 months in ensuring housing stability amidst this pandemic. And yet, in recent months, legal services under Stay House have been nearing capacity, which is demonstrating how great the need is in the county. And we know this need is only going to increase significantly now that the state protections have expired. So with all of that in mind, we call on the county to codify the right to counsel for tenants in unincorporated areas and keep county-wide services under the working program of Stay House LA County. We have shared a plan that would cost less than $10 million per year to provide this critical support for housing stability and ensure vulnerable residents in the county can stay in their homes. A right to counsel is the law and right that makes really all other tenant rights real. Thank you for your time. Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please?
We'll go to the line of Pearl Marshall. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Yes, hi. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'll be speaking on 41, 54, and general public comments. On 41, I think that should go to a vote by the people on whether they want to spend their taxpayer money to give free phone calls. That's all I have to say on that one. On 54, I am opposed to number 2, rescinding the hard hiring freeze for all departments except probation and the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department was on the partial hiring freeze in 2019 because of the budget, the arguments between the sheriff and the CEO at the time. Then they turned around and went to a hard hiring freeze, which I understand. There are over 80 professional staffs whose promotions were denied, including my own. We took civil service exams. These exams are not easy to pass. Went through numerous interviews only to be denied and then to have to retest. Yet other people were being promoted, not in our department, but in other departments. This whole thing, these positions are positions that are not new. They are budgeted in an ordinance, so it's not adding any cost to the county because they're already budgeted in our budgets. Yet we have to justify every single request for any position, even the ones that were exempt, and that is not a fiscally responsible way of doing any type of business. As far as the comments that people have made about the AB 109, if you read, the Assembly bill is known as a realignment It was passed in 2011 by the California voters. It diverts defendants convicted of less serious felonies to the local jails. Well, that's a cost to the county, so the funding is supplementing the county. And Measure J did take away, I work for the Sheriff's Department, Measure J did take away funding. They did eliminate a lot of positions. So it's saying that the money, there's still a cost of doing business, and I think that the public may not understand that. The next thing I want to go to is going to be about all the doctors that have called in. I think that it would really be great if the Board of Supervisors attended some of these negotiations. The CEO's office, who sends their negotiators, are people that are on the MAP tier program who have no skin in the game. So they are very condescending. They are not willing to negotiate. They do not look at the cost of living. They do not look at the sacrifices. I want to know how many Board of Supervisors attended, or people from the CEOs attended. I lost friends to COVID. I'm sure that there were doctors that died. There was nurses that died. Did you attend their services? So when you turn around and say, that you're for let's make everybody healthy, but then you turn around and this is how the negotiations are going, where they turn around and walk away from the table, don't offer any true incentives. And the reason is because they get their raises annually based on their evals, where the rest of us have to go and ask. I think there's a huge problem in the CEO's office. I think there's a huge problem with them doing proper classification benchmarks for the types of service, the people that you have working for you in the county. As far as during the pandemic, we had to purchase our own PPE.
Excuse me, your time has expired. May we have the next speaker, please?
Go line of Gerred Obrian. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether to address on general public comment. You may begin.
Hi, good morning. I'm addressing public comment 50, 54, and public comment. I'm going to start now. Peace, my name is Gerred Obrian, also known as J-Bo. I'm 23 years old. I live in Los Angeles, California. At the age of 16, I found myself homeless, hungry, and alone in a city that I knew no one and had no friends to help me out, no family. I was caught into the hands of the system, and they sent their age and placed on probation, and they gave me community service. But what I really needed was care and a care-based first initiative and youth development. We continue to fail youth like myself by I talk about the county officials who lead the county and make decisions for us. It's a shame and it's a disappointment that you all are our leaders. A Care First budget is not the one introduced by the CEO's office today. A Care First approach requires divestment from the county institutions most responsible for harming and incarcerating our communities. How does a continued nearly $5 billion allocation to sheriff and probation departments demonstrate a commitment to reimagine justice and a Care First vision? A stated time and time again, Care First means community first. Care First means investing in community-based programs that provide the most thorough and effective support. Investing in community first, all ATI report recommendations, and they should be better reflected in the county budget. We should invest in things like Youth Justice Reimagined. How does probation get more money, but Youth Justice Reimagined doesn't get fully funded? We're only asking for $75 million, and we all can't even do that. I've been doing this work for 5 years, and I've been asking for the same thing for 5 years, and it's taking you all so long just to make up your mind that you all should give us money. The CEO, it should be ashamed of herself and ashamed that she even is representing us and cares about young people. You understand what I'm saying? Because the county doesn't care about none of us. I'm at the point where I know that the county doesn't care about none of us because we all are doing what we all are supposed to do. Thank you.
Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please?
Next, we'll go line of Joseph Rizzo. Please state the regular agenda items you wish to address today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
General public comment.
You may begin.
Okay, hi, good morning. My name is Joseph, and a few weeks ago I spoke with someone from the East LA Road Maintenance Division about street sweeping, and they told me that the sweeper would only come twice a month. I'm asking that you would reconsider change it back, the street sweeping back to every week to improve the quality of life here in the unincorporated area of East LA. So again, would you please change that policy in order the street sweeper to come every week? Thanks so much for hearing me. And that being said, I was wondering if someone would be able to contact me, or I can follow up and contact someone from your office. Thank you so much.
Thank you, caller. This is Supervisor Solis, representing the 1st District. Someone on my staff will call you, and we have been working with Department of Public Works on this issue. We've heard from many constituents. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please?
I'm going to go to the line of Silvia M. Please state the regular agenda items you're addressing today and whether you'll address on general public comment. You may begin.
Thank you. So, yes, my name is Silvia Marroquin. I'm with SAGE, Strategic Actions for Just Economies. I will be addressing this one to public comment, general comments in items 50 to 55, I believe. So my experience with SAGE has been for 5 years as a community organizer, and yes, we have been helping a lot of people to stay away from being evicted by letting them know the rights as tenants, and but it's so much difficult now to help them. So many are facing evictions from one day to the next. Yesterday, a couple of families were being evicted. I'm not sure if illegally or legally, but today 5 more families are being evicted, and we need to stop that. I mean, you guys are helping a lot by creating new programs to keep families from staying on the streets or being homeless, but so much more needs to be done. State House is a great program, but we need to make it into a codified right to counsel. I think that this is a great opportunity, especially now with the budget being revised. $10 million is not a lot of money to protect families in need. So I'm urging you, please reconsider that this is a dire need. The right to counsel is the thing to do. This is going to keep our families healthier. Also, it's going to save lives. So many people are still dying, and we need to do the humane thing. Let us not die on the streets. Thank you.
Thank you. May we have the next caller, please?
Next, we'll go to the line of Jones O'Keefe. Please state the regular agenda items you wish to address today, whether you'll be addressing on general public comment. You may begin.
Good morning. My name is Jones O'Keefe. I'm a staff of Eagle Collegiate Academy. This is a general public comment about facilitating the in-person learning of this year. The faculty and staff at this year are on the verge of losing our jobs because the directors at the County Public Works Department, the LA County Fire Department, and the Regional Planning Department are holding permits needed to open this year for students in-person learning. I therefore call on you, board members, to please come to our aid, assist us with facilitating this opening of the charter school, because our kids would love to be with us, are actually having difficulty with the virtual learning that we're operating right now. We need your assistance, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please?
As a reminder, to address the board, please press 1, then 0 at this time. Do not press 1 and 0 a second time, or you'll be removed from the queue.
We will now hear the Spanish interpretation of this reminder.
Como recordatorio, para dirigirse a la Junta, si uno lo ha hecho, presione 1 y luego 0 en este momento. No presione 1 y 0 por segunda vez o será eliminado de la fila. Gracias.
Thank you. May we have the next speaker, please?
Chairperson, at this time, we have no one else in queue.
Yes, I understand Supervisor Mitchell wanted to be recognized for clarification. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I just wanted to provide some clarification. We heard from several callers from Harvard UCLA representing CIR, SCIU, and I completely hear and understand their frustration. The only point I wanted to provide clarification was the repeated comments that they had not met with my office or had not been responded to, and I just want to provide some dates and, again, the clarification. I'm proud to say that Marissa Zepp, their political coordinator, pulled together about 5 of their members and met with my leadership team on May 18th with a follow-up meeting June 10th. And I actually was on campus May 24th and had individual personal conversations with several members of CIR. So I appreciate that local negotiations can be long and difficult, but again, I just want to provide clarification that numerous members of CIR, SCIU have met with me and my staff over the course of the last 2 to 3 months. So I want to provide that factual update. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Mitchell. I too want to also offer up clarification because my office, while I may not have been in the meetings, my staff has been meeting with the bargaining groups as well. So I did want to also offer that and hope soon that we can see some resolution. I think we're all trying to work towards that. Thank you very much. And members, just for clarification overall, we're going to allow for, as you know, we're allowing for the full 90 minutes for public comment. So we will hold the call-in line open until 11:08 if we have any other callers. And that will meet our standards that we accept. So thank you. So we'll just hold on for those minutes unless someone calls in. Thank you for your patience.